Wow, what a perfect morning we have today, and welcome to our amazing strategy. My name is Julius. Today we want to bring you to your concern our 3% 300x strategy to help you get a big picture of what this strategy is and how you're going to use it for your own advantage to become very successful. The 3% 300x strategy is basically a strategy where you pick a trade and only take 3%. You pick a strategy and only take 3%. And only 3%. So we are saying you are taking 3% on 300 successful trades. You are taking 3% on 300 successful trades. And so, how do we set up a signal that is sent to you and its goal is to give you 3%? How do we set up a signal? How do we set up a signal of which its goal is to give you 3%? At the end, I'll share why 3%. Okay, so let's look at the signal. So once you get started in the Crypto Ambassadors team, we shall add you to our group, and definitely will join our announcement group. And every single day, you receive 2 signals. There will be so many signals, some with current price, but you receive 2 signals with a preset price. And we want you to apply our amazing strategy of 3%. Some coins, in the principle of trading, we say you buy, you wait, and then you sell. The buying will only take 10% of your time. The waiting will take 80% of your time. And the selling will only take 10% of your time. So the waiting time will be more. Some signals will move out faster. Some signals will delay to move out. But you as a trader, your focus is only to have 300 successful trades that have sold, each giving you a 3%. So you buy, you wait, then the robot will sell for you. Now let's get into that to give you a better understanding. Beautiful. All right, let's talk about this signal and why we are focusing on the signal. We are going to go into more details about it a little bit later. But now, let's see how a signal will be looking like. All right, this is the signal. The signal that we are trying to give an example is called CRV. The signal will come with an identification number. The identification number is basically for us who are giving us a signal, who are giving you the signal. And since it is us who are giving you the signal, we understand that the signal is by that number. It has the name of the signal, which is CRV. It has the take profit, which is 3%. It has a preset price. A preset price is usually a price lower than the current price. But if you find a signal where now the current price of the signal is the one that is higher than the preset price, you just set that trade. It is still valid. It has a take profit callback of 0.01 and it has a drop of 5%. Basically, I want to play for you this video to help you understand that where we are right now, the market is still continuing to do well. And this gives us the confidence that by you taking the 300 trades, you will be able to change your life. Before I go to how you set a signal, I know now you know how the signal looks like. Let's watch this video in just a few minutes, and then we go to how we set the signal.
More and more global investors are asking us about the role of crypto. And as I said, I do believe a lot of crypto is going to be, it's an international asset. It has a differentiating value versus other asset classes, but more importantly, because it's so international, it's going to transcend any one currency and currency valuation. If you just look at the value of our dollar, how it depreciated the last two months, and how much it appreciated over the last 5 years, I mean, an international crypto product can really transcend that. And that's why we believe there's great opportunities, and that's why we're seeing more and more interest. And that interest is broad-based worldwide.
All right, from that video of BlackRock saying that more investors are asking them how they can access cryptocurrency, let's now rock and roll into setting up the trade. So basically the coin is called CRV. So you come to your Royal Queue, and when you come to your Royal Queue, you basically tap on the home icon, then you tap on the search. When you tap on the search, you look for the coin. It's called CRV, and here is CRV. If you see the CRV, it has a current price here now, which is 0.6274. Now someone might be late, but let's look. What was the signal? The signal price was 0.6160. It means that now you are late, because the signal already touched the preset price, and now we are moving in the profit zone. So now we shall look for CRV, like I've said, CRV, and we open it. And when we open the CRV coin, we shall now tap on an area called Create. Tap on Create. When you tap on Create, we shall choose what we call the Martingale strategy bot. The Martingale strategy bot. Then we tap on it. Then after tapping on the Martingale strategy, we tap on Create. Then we tap on the Martingale strategy bot. When you tap on the Martingale strategy bot, then we shall tap Create. Then when we tap Create, it will bring us to this page, and we shall choose this next below, because we want to choose the next, this one, that allow us to be flexible. We shall not choose the other one up, this one below, because feel free to create your own strategy with more flexibility. It allows us to be more flexible. It allows us to do what we want to do with our trade. Then we tap next. Then the coin will appear. When the coin appears, we shall not take much of our time. We shall just come down here and we tap on trade setting. We tap on trade setting and the coin will open up. When the coin opens up, it gives us two different areas. It has smart create and manual create. We shall choose manually create area, and we shall tap on it, and basically these are the settings. First step is us to be able to determine our first buying amount. It is us to be able to determine our first buying amount. What does first buying amount mean? First buying amount means, okay, Julius, I have, let me use $100 as an example. I have $100. I don't want the robot to go in with all my $100, because I might enter from here, then the market goes down a little bit, all right? So I enter from here, then the market goes down. So I want to enter from here, and then if the market goes against me, my remaining balance helps me to buy more so that I could make more profit. So we say, how do we determine, as the crypto ambassadors, how would we determine our first buying amount on our signals? How do we determine our first buying amount on our signals? So look at the capital you have. I said I'm going to take an example of $100. I'm going to look at different capitals to give you a better understanding. So if I have $100, I will either say 15% of my $100, which is $15, or I will say 20% of my $100, which will be $20. So someone may be saying, Julius, what about me who has more capital? Let me say you have $1,000. You could decide to divide your capital into two, meaning that you'll be trading each signal, each with 500, each with 500. Okay. But if you decide to use all your capital, you'll say $1,000. What is either 15% of your 1,000, which will be 150, or 20% of your 1,000, which will be $200. This goes on and goes on depending on your capital. Maybe you have $200 and it's what you want to use. Multiply this by 20%, which is $40, all 15%. So it goes on. Maybe you have $5,000. Maybe you have $5,000. And you decide to say, no, I will divide my capital into 4. It means each signal I'll trade it with $1,000 or 1,500. So you'll say 1,500 divide by, let me say 20% of your capital, which will be $300 or 250. I'm not so perfect. So the amount of money you get as your first buying amount is the money you will be using to compound and grow your capital. So we shall talk about compounding at last. Let's continue. So I will take $20 if I have $100. And we are saying when using a strategy, you can turn $15 to $100,000. And so, open double position. This we shall always keep it off, simply because once we switch it on, we are trying to instruct the robot to double whatever it buys, which is not the case. Now, the AI margin call. We also want to switch this on while we are compounding our money so that the robot doesn't just put our remaining balance so much fast in the market. So we shall switch on the AI margin call. When it comes to our signals, the margin call limit, the number of margin calls that we want our robot to buy, they will remain 4 margin calls. Why 4? Because when we use 4 margin calls, whatever the robot buys, it buys it at different prices and sells everything at once. So where there is 20, we shall put 4. Now, remember our signal has this we call a TP. It has a TP of 3%. TP, 3%. So we shall come on this signal. There is this place here called whole position take profit ratio. That is where we shall put our 3%. And instead of us putting 3%, we shall put 3.01. Still, our signal has TP callback. You see it here. It has TP callback, this one, which is 0.01. Okay, so we shall get to our signal and we shall put 0.01. What does this mean? This means that when the market will rise by 3.01 and try to go down by 0.01, the robot will sell and we shall get our profit of 3%. Let's go. The next step is to come just directly to this button. The next step is to come to this button, which is written on strategy period. This one, strategy period. And this strategy period in here is a cycle. So we shall tap on that arrow exactly there and it will become one shot. Now, the next step is to distribute our remaining capital that we want to expose in this trade to be bought by the robot. So we said that although we started with the $20, we still have a balance of $80, and we wanted our robot to put our remaining balance in 4 different times, making sure that our AI margin call is on so that the robot doesn't just buy and put our remaining balance in the market, because we are compounding. The point is, you want to be successful in trading, you want to attack the market with a strategy. You don't want to attack the market with emotions. I want to be rich tomorrow. You don't want to attack with the market with emotions. It is delaying to sell. You want to attack with the market with a strategy. So we already have a signals we are giving you. So we want you to attack this with a strategy. So 4 margin calls. So we want to set how should these 4 margin calls be bought in the market. So this takes us to margin call configuration. And on the margin call configuration, it has 2 main places that I want us to put our focus. One, it has what we call margin call drop. Margin call drop. It has an area we call margin call drop. Very, very important. And what is margin call drop? Margin call drop has the first call, the second call, the third call, and the fourth call. And all these together, all these 4 together, as I've shown them to you as they are here, is where we are going to distribute on our signal what is called a drop. On our signal, what is called a drop. So what is called a drop is what we are going to distribute in those 4 margin calls together. So it is a 5. So one can say, I'll put a 1, a 1, a 1, a 1, that is 3 and a 2. So you see the total here, it is, if you see 1 plus 1, that is 2 plus 1, 3 plus 2, it's a 5. So this person has worked on their 5 drop. Another person may say, no, I want my robot to buy the first call faster. So he puts a 0.2. Then here he says, maybe I want a 0.5. Then here this person says, I want maybe a 1. So that is already 1.7. Then 1.7 takes us definitely to ask ourselves on the 5%, what is the remaining? Because if this person said, I want a 0.2 plus a 0.5 plus a 1 plus, so a 1, then minus a 5. You find now he will put down here a 3.5. It is up to you. The most important thing or the most important part is to make sure that the total here is equal to the drop. The total is equal to the drop that has been given here in the signal, which was basically, you see, it was a 5%. You see that it was a 5%, and we have made sure that the total of our margin call drop here is a 5%. Now, we have finished the margin call drop. Now, we want to go to the next area. How should the robot put in our remaining balance of $80? Now, when I talk like $80, I mean someone who took 20% of their $500, which is $100. How should the robot bring in your remaining $400 in the market? And this is what we have, the multiple buying ratio. Now, the multiple buying ratio here, this one, the multiple buying ratio here, this one, we shall first go back and change our first buying amount because it needs to move in correspondence with our capital. So, we have 3 methods. The first method is what we call a +1, which is a 1. Like, for example, if I have $100, I could leave my first buying amount to 20 because this is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 4 times 20, which is $80. It means that if my robot started with $20, the remaining $80 will be brought into the market slowly. When the market will fall by 0.2, the robot will put in $20. The market falls by 0.5, the robot will put in $20. The market falls by 1, the robot will put in $20. The market falls by 3.3, the robot will put in $20. This will be a total of my $100. If I have more capital, I could go in for what we call a Fibonacci. Okay, sorry, a +1, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. You see, whenever the market goes down, the robot buys more. Whenever the market goes down, the robot buys more. So we shall just go to a calculator. Let's add this up. So it is 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, which is 10. I can leave a 20 to be my first buying amount because I have maybe 200. If I have my $200 that I'm using, I could leave a 20 to be my first buying amount. But I recommend that after the robot has bought, as we're going to see, you can come back, change your first buying amount to a minimum of 15. So it will be 10 times 15, which would be $150 if I have that capital. Okay? All right, so we have another one which we call a Fibonacci. So another one may not start with 1, may start with a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5. This is according to your capital. So we just add this and say 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5, which is 14, times your first buying amount. It could be either 15 or 20. Or more, it's up to you, 15. So this is 210. So you must have this balance in your exchange in USDT unused. If you don't have it, then don't set it. You must set according to your capital. So from the Fibonacci, the plus one, we have the Fibonacci. Under the Fibonacci is could be a 2. A Fibonacci could be a 2 plus 3. 2 plus 3 equals 5. 5 plus 3 equals 8. You see that? Then we can go to our calculator and basically say, okay, a 2 plus 3 plus 5 plus 8, which is 18. So 18 times our first buying amount. I said you can turn back to 50 or 20, 15, 270 or a 20, which is 360. You must have that balance in your USDT before you set up. All right. Now we have a double up, which is a 2, 4, 8, 16. This is a double up. So this double up is very, very important. The double up is very, very important because it is doubling your money. So let's go. A 2 plus 4 plus 8 plus 16, which is 30. If your first buying amount is 20, you need a $600. If your first buying amount is 15, you need 450. Now, I'll leave it to this. I'll leave it to a 1 because we are looking at a minimum of $100. 1, 1, 1, and 1. Because our strategy is saying turn $100 to $100,000. So I'll leave it to that. But I've shown you with different capital. So if you have more money, you decide to say, I'll trade 4 coins and I'll be compounding and such amount. So we're going to go to compounding. So after we have provided our settings very well, the next thing we are going to do is to save our settings in our coin. So we have finished to save. Now our signal comes with a preset price. If you look very well, our signal comes with a preset price. This one. It has a preset price 0.6160. I just come back here and you put here. You see where it is written here? First preset buying price. Then you put it in here. 0.6160 and confirm. Some people usually complain, I'm writing it's not fitting. Put what fits. Put what fits. And after fitting it, when should you use the signal is only valid a maximum of 15 minutes, even if it is a preset price when you have seen it. But if you see it faster, 5 minutes, you are good to go. Then you will be able to tap start. Then you'll be able to tap start. And immediately you tap start. When you come down here, sorry for that. Immediately when you tap start, when you come down here on the strategy, then on running, on strategy, then on running, it will go gray. but make sure you are getting. Now this signal is already in profit and it's about to deliver. There are so many people who have found different ways of using the robot and making money, which is okay, but this is our strategy. So that is how we set up the coin. Now immediately it buys, let me say it has bought, come back on the coin and return. This strategy is for $100. If you have bigger capital, you can return back to $15. Maybe you were using $500 or $600, you can return back to $15. Maybe you're using a double up, which was maybe a 2, a 4, an 8, and a 16, right? So you can return back to because you had put your first buying amount to be 100. That's what you are compounding. You are compounding your first buying amount. Now, when this coin sells, Julius, where do I see that it has sold? 1, when you tap on your home, here, and then you tap on revenue details here, you will see your profits. They will display. Not only that, when you tap on strategy, then you tap on running, the coin will not be there. 4, if you are having an Android phone, when you tap on top here where you see the bell, let me go back to home, where you see the bell, on top here, you'll be able to see when you open that the coin has been able to sell. On the order message, you'll see that the coin has sold. Then you can be able to successfully set another coin. Now, lastly, how do we compound? Having found your first buying amount, if you are having an Android phone, I want you to go and download a compound interest calculator to help you win fast. So you have looked at your capital. Let me say your capital is 100 and you are using 20% of this, which is $20. The amount you are compounding is $20. So you just come here and put $20. The amount of profit you are taking is 3% for 300 successful trades. Calculate. So when this coin sells and we send another signal, because for you only have $100, that's very important. You will change your first buying amount. Now you will not put 20 for the robot to buy the first time. You'll put 20.6. When that one sells and you come in, so when the robot buys, for you who is using $100, you'll return it back to 20. You go and tap on trade settings, then you on the first buying amount, you return it back to 20. Then this one sells, so you will go in for the next signal and your first buying amount will be this. Then it sells. Remember, whenever it buys, you go back and change the first buying amount to avoid issues. Now for you, if you have $500 and you are compounding $100, when this coin sells on the next trade, do not forget to change your first buying amount on the next trade. And once the robot sells, you return your first buying amount back to 15. Like that, depending on your capital, like I started from the start. Now, having showed you how to compound, for you who are using Android, you just go and iPhone, you just ask yourself, maybe I'm compounding $1,000 and my first buying amount, let me say, is $200. I will say 200 times 3% is how much? Is 6. So on the next trade, you will start with $206 to be your first buying amount. Then you return back either to 20 or 50 depending on your capital. Thank you for spending your 30 minutes with us to learn how to set up your trade. Welcome to the future. We have a better plan to get you to a better mode. We have a better plan to help you win in the next bull run. Get started with us. Rock with us. We are the Crypto Ambassadors, the fastest growing team across the world. Get back to the person who sent this video. If you're already into our groups, ask your upline to add you to our announcement group where I give you the signals. Use our signals very well and win with us all the time. Feel free to ask a question on this video. Let us help you rock and roll this industry like never before. Thank you. My name is Julius Kabanda.